Good morning and welcome back to the channel. It is now officially Friday, October the 17th, and welcome almost to the weekend. I hope you guys have had a great week, and I hope that your weekend, which is almost here, is going to be everything you need it to be, and I hope it will be relaxing and most of all safe and peaceful for you wherever you are when you're watching this. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. Rather than reading most of an online article to you guys and then including the link to it like I normally do, I have a story about a remarkable gentleman that I would like to tell you guys about today, and then I will put a link to some of the reference material that I used to tell you the story in the description box, and the reference material will have some videos in it also. But this is not the normal thing that I've been doing, where it's a story about someone doing something, a kind favor, or something helpful like that in a specific incident. This is a story about a man's life, and the man that I'm talking about is a gentleman by the name of Willie Oree. His full name is William Eldon Oree, and he just had a birthday yesterday. I did not realize that it was yesterday until this afternoon when it popped up on one of my apps that I have tracking hockey, because I'm a big hockey fan, if you don't know. And he used to play for the Boston Bruins a very long time ago. And he celebrated his 90th birthday yesterday. Well, now 2 days ago on October 15th, so 2 days ago. So Willie Oree is a very famous guy in the National Hockey League, and particularly for the Boston Bruins. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about him today and why he is such a special man, and why he should be probably more special than maybe he already is. Okay? So I'm going to read most of this because I do not have all of this memorized. I do know about him, but I don't have all the particulars memorized. But he is fascinating, man, and I think that you will find that to be the case also. William Eldon Oree, Willie Oree is what he's known mostly by. Born October 15th, 1935, a former Canadian and American professional ice hockey player born in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. Widely recognized for being the first black player in the National Hockey League. That is a fact. Playing as a winger for the Boston Bruins. His accomplishment of breaking the color barrier in the NHL has led him to sometimes be referred to as the Jackie Robinson of hockey, whom he had the chance to meet when he was younger. Oree played junior hockey for several teams in Quebec and Ontario before being signed by the Quebec Aces of the Quebec Hockey League in 1955, a long time ago. Midway through his second minor league season with the Quebec Aces, Oree was called up to the Boston Bruins of the National Hockey League to replace a player called Leo Labine, who was unable to play due to an illness. 2 years earlier, Oree had been blinded when he was hit in his right eye by an errant puck. So he got hit in the eye by a hockey puck 2 years earlier, which would have precluded him from playing in the NHL if the Bruins had known. However, Oree managed to keep it a secret and made his NHL debut with the Boston Bruins on January 18, 1958, against the Montreal Canadiens, becoming the first black player in league history. He played 2 games that year with centerman Don McKinney and right wing Jerry Tapazzini as his line mates. Oree played 43 games for the Bruins during the 1960 through 61 NHL season. fascinating. So if the National Hockey League and the Bruins had known about him being legally blind and totally blind in one of his eyes, he would not have been eligible to play. The fact that he kept it a secret and he played, and he was a pretty good player by most accounts. Definitely talented enough to play professional hockey, which is really good, is remarkable to me. So here's some more information about him, which is amazing to me. A great-great-grandson of escaped slaves from South Carolina, Willie Oree overcame numerous obstacles to become the first black player in the National Hockey League. I read some other information in different sources from him. His great-great-grandparents were actually part of the Underground Railroad, and they were actually slaves in South Carolina who escaped from slavery from a plantation and made it through the Underground Railroad all the way up through the Midwest and into Canada, into this little village called Fredericton, where he was born and grew up. Amazing. After a 22-year playing career where he broke barriers and opened doors for other minority players, Willie has now spent the better part of 40 years helping marginalized and disadvantaged youth across North America. He has touched the lives of tens of thousands of children and inspired generations of hockey players of all races, color, creed, gender, and ethnicity. Since 1998, Oree has been the NHL's diversity ambassador, traveling across North America to schools and hockey programs to promote messages of inclusion, dedication, and confidence. In 2008, Oree received the Order of Canada, the highest civilian award for a Canadian citizen. He was honored as a pioneer of hockey and a dedicated youth mentor in Canada, along with the United States. In 2018, 10 years later, Oree was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, and starting that year, the National Hockey League has introduced the annual Willie Oree Community Hero Award in his honor to recognize an individual who, through the game of hockey, has positively impacted his or her community, culture, or society, and this is awarded through public voting. Amazing. In 2022, U.S. President Joe Biden signed the Willie Oree Congressional Gold Medal Act. This bill awarded Oree a Congressional Gold Medal, the U.S. Congress' highest honor for his contributions to hockey, inclusion, and recreational opportunity. Oree is the first player in NHL history to receive this honor. Amazing. Just an exemplary life of, taking the opportunity when you have it, and then spending the rest of your life to give back to other people. So I do a lot of things on my channel. Most of my stories, in fact, all my stories are about giving back to others unselfishly. And Mr. Oree has certainly done that. He played for 21 years and a few months, almost 22 years as a professional hockey player. And then he spent the next 40 years in various kinds of volunteer work, all pretty much dedicated to giving back to the sport of hockey and trying to grow the sport of hockey. And he doesn't just, this is something that he loves and he believes in, and trying to grow the sport of hockey among the youth. Amazing, amazing person. And the link that I will include in this, I'm just going to include one link to it, and it is to the National Hockey League's official website, where they have his honorarium, his page. It has some very good videos, one of which is a black and white video of him actually playing in, I think, 1958 or 1960, and it has an interview with him. It's amazing, fascinating. Please go to that link and just listen to Willie Oree in the 1950s. It's a very short clip because it is very old, and it is grainy and black and white, but it is a fascinating thing. Just an amazing man. Happy late birthday to you, Mr. Oree. And I just wanted to get that out there today. Something a little bit different, but every bit as deserving as some of the other videos that I do. And I'll leave you with a couple of quotes. This is kind of a long video. A kind gesture can reach a wound that only compassion can heal. Mother Teresa said that. Dolly Parton said, if you see someone without a smile, give them yours. And then I'm going to read 3 Bible verses because I think this is important. Micah 6:8. We never read from Micah. He has told you, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God? Proverbs 21:21. Whoever pursues righteousness and kindness will find life, righteousness, and honor. And 1 John 3:17. But if anyone has the world's goods and sees his brother in need, yet closes his heart against him, how does God's love abide in him? Surely that's true. I hope you guys have a great Friday and the beginning of your weekend starts off just the way you want it to, and have a safe weekend and a blessed weekend. God loves you, and I love you too.